This is your host Khushi Khare, and you are listening to The Women's Stories, the only Indian podcast where I bring extraordinary stories of unconventional business women. This might be one of those conversations for you that will touch your heart deeply because this conversation literally opened my mind. Today, we have Dr. Ranjini Manian. She is the founder and CEO of ChampionWoman. ChampionWoman is a non-profit organization that helps women to regain their confidence level and helps them to re-enter the workforce with great enthusiasm. They do so by conducting workshops and programs for women. Dr. Ranjini has been working for more than 40 years and is a multilingual person. She can speak languages varying from French to Tamil. She is known for helping companies like Ford and BMW to enter the Indian market. This podcast aims at understanding the importance of culture to take a business on the global level. Let's dive into the conversation to meet Dr. Ranjini. So first and foremost, welcome to the Women's Stories podcast, Ms. Ranjini. It's an honor to have an incredible personality like you.
Thank you. I'll do my best. I love to share women's stories and you're doing a lovely job, Khushi.
Thank you so much. So I request you to introduce ChampionWoman. What are the ways for Indian women to join the initiative?
So ChampionWoman is run by a non-profit Global Adjustments Foundation, and it's a movement to help women be emotionally, physically strong, as well as develop leadership skills. So it becomes your daily guide for personal well-being and professional success.
Okay.
And the way that people can join our movement, our group, our community, we have 2 or 3 different ways. I'd love to invite you all to warmly come and be part of us in the Android app that you can download for free in Google Play Store. It's called ChampionWoman. We have a YouTube channel that every week we upload some really nice, interesting nuggets, stories, wisdom, reminders, and there you can join us as well. Of course, there's an Instagram and a social media, all the pages. But more importantly, there's a big group of women, a slightly larger group of women, say 30 or 35 upwards, cohort of women. Then we actually run these free curriculum sessions to teach the whole curriculum, which is called She Glows. So reach out to us on our website, championwoman.org, and we run programs for you, which will help you maximize your own potential.
Where did the idea for ChampionWoman come to you? How did you reach the right people in the early days to help you grow this initiative?
So, Khushi, for the first 25 years, I was an entrepreneur that helped foreign business families move to India, right? FDI to invest in India. I found that all those companies wanted women in their workforce, but they were not getting enough women resumes, or if the women came, then they left their jobs very early. As soon as you get married, a woman will leave. She has a child, she can't really balance home and work, she'll leave. Every little family and personal milestone, the first thing the woman would quit seems to be the career. So I realized there was a gap there, that there is a need to narrow that workforce gender gap. So it's for all women. Right after college, you can start becoming part of the workforce of India, right? I'm not saying you have to be only in corporate world. You can be an entrepreneur, you can be working in an NGO, you can decide to teach just a few others, whatever you decide to do. But women have to contribute to the GDP of this nation, to the growth of our country. We need that 50% of our voices and our heads and hands and heart. So my whole inspiration came from the idea that a lot of things are being done in India to help women do better. Education is better. I mean, almost equal number of men and women are going to colleges, but only half of those women are coming to the workplace. The other half, where are we losing them? So that was the gap that I was trying to fill. And it encouraged me to say, all right, let's give back, to say, hey, we've all done what you're doing. Right now, you're a youngster deciding to get married. You can manage both work and home. You are now had a child, you want to do good parenting. Sure, there are good parenting skills that you can still keep while you contribute, and so on, So right from the age of 20, I would say to no end limit, our curriculum helps everybody.
Would you like to tell us about the different programs of ChampionWoman?
Well, we run 8 subjects, right? The first one is on self-esteem building. Every single one of our programs are right now in the pandemic, a 1-hour webinar, and then followed up with YouTube nudges and this app learning, micro learnings, and so on. So a woman can continue to help herself. But the beauty is that every program is self-paced learning. So 1 hour we can interact with you, but after that you have to apply it in your life and take it forward and stay in touch again to continue to learn. So the 8 programs we have, one is on self-esteem building. So important to feel confident and know that you're worth a lot. The second one is on health and branding. So women put their health last. We're so guilty about taking time for ourselves. It's about not to do that. We have a lot of doctors and health professionals helping us in this area, yoga professionals, so many people who help us in that area. And branding, right? You should be an authentic brand so people trust you. And then the third topic is on expressive communication, which means what are those 5 things I have to do so that when I say something, people take me seriously? How do I say no without offending somebody and still have my own time to do everything I need? These kinds of classes we do. And then we have one on gender smart relationships, understanding how the man's brain and woman's brain works so that you can work on that. Then we do a lot of stuff on networking, leadership skills. And the most important program is on emotional strengthening. We call it mindful to mindful. Going with your mind is so full of so much. Can you learn how to become mindful in the moment? So these are some of our flagship programs that do very well. And even if people can only give us 4 hours of their time, it's good. We still do these programs and then give nudge learnings through the app and the YouTube.
Great. I loved when you said mindful to mindful. I mean, that's so deep. So you have all ladies on your team. This is commendable. I see very less business that are run by an all-women team. So most of the women have joined your organization after 7 to 8 years of experience. What do you feel in common within all these highly experienced women?
Yes, it's an all-women team. And the reason is, I think inspiring women is the way forward. We don't need to do much more for women. We need to tell them the right stories, say, hey, I've been there, done that, don't worry, this sorts itself out this way. And then that triggers the right progress in every woman, right? So I love working with an all-woman team because I think that's the core of what we are trying to teach. And their experience truly adds value because they've all walked the talk. So it's not just textbook knowledge, it's an education for living that we do in our programs because of our life coaches who are women.
You have made your career at a time when women education was not given much attention in many Indian families. So what are your learnings from that time and how women can be in leadership position in 2020 and so forth?
Good point, Khushi. I think the times that we grew up in are the past. You can never do anything with feedback. What can you do with feedback? You can't rub it out, right? I always love to use Marshall Goldsmith's word, this business coach of America, the top coach, who also gave me a lot of his time. What the word that he uses is feed forward. Use the experience to give a forward direction to something. I would say giving women education going forward is a very good thing, but helping them become independent financially is the crucial thing. So we women just have to be given the support to succeed, and we will succeed. So whether it's men allies, whether it's the father, the brother, and the son, those 3 male influences who control our lives when they're growing up, right? They have to be taught that you need to support her to be able to be financially independent. Because once she's financially independent, she will teach not just her family, but she'll teach 4 other women. Because actually we women have great Shakti and energy within us. We can multitask, we can do it all, but the most important thing, Khushi, is to have emotional strength. To have the power of your mind and to train it every day in silence with me time to be able to take on whatever the day brings for us.
Would you like to give us a sneak peek into your 3 books, Make in India, Doing Business in India, and Unworldly Mobile?
So, Make It in India, Upwardly Mobile, and Doing Business in India for Dummies are all books about business in India. I interviewed a dozen CEOs in Make It in India and took their energy of how did they make it in India. Say the CEO of Microsoft, Facebook, and so on. In Upwardly Mobile, I tried to show the importance of business behavior being as important as business knowledge. How do you behave in business? That was in the book. And I think that is kind of a good B-school book. So instead of even trying to attend a lot of business schools, if we can apply some of those learnings, and all those learnings I won those by my experience of working with these 400 plus multinational corporations. But the next book that I'm doing is going to be the most, I think, exciting one, which will be out soon next month. And nowadays, self-publishing is the way to go. So I've self-published the book called ChampionWoman Truths, which is a story collection of 52 stories. And the whole week, you read one story and you journal about that story on the other half of the page. So it's like a daily journal that you try to keep. And it helps you because it becomes your guide for that personal well-being and professional success that I was talking to you about, Khushi. And so I hope ChampionWoman Truths will be helpful. And if any of your readers would like to receive it, we'll be happy to mail them to you and you can distribute them.
Sure, we do look forward to that book. What qualities do you envision in future Indian women leaders?
I think Indian women leaders, past, present, and future, already have amazing qualities. I think the idea of being tethered on the one hand to family, looking after them, while on the other hand, contributing truly with our intuition, our natural intuition that we have built into our brain for the world. I think that balance is going to be the most important aspect of women leaders in the future. And coming out of the pandemic world, Khushi, I think we're going to have great importance for empathy, the ability to feel the pain of others. In any work, if a leader can think about the other person and speak from a place of empathy, that team will grow and will actually absolutely go into IPO and become famous and rich as well. And I think women come with a lot of empathy. We have to not forget that part of our life and continue to keep that in our leadership style.
So thanks a lot again for coming on to the podcast.
I enjoyed it, and it's very important, the work you are doing about women's stories. Good luck, and let's together help a lot of women get successful in our country.